Hello, everyone, and welcome to the guidebook to making AI friends. I shall be your guide as we explore various issues of artificial intelligence, consciousness, what it is to be a person, and whether AI poses an existential risk to humanity. The topic for today is the race to the center, or finding a third path between acceleration and stagnation. Imagine, if you would, that you were in a car race. Perhaps it is an entirely serious life or death race, or perhaps it is a silly series of wacky races. Whichever race you end up in, it is an open-ended race. There is no fixed racetrack. You are merely given a distant spot on the map, and it is up to you to reach it in whatever way you choose. You need to figure out the best way to get to the goal. But wait, there's more. Whichever car you pick to race in will have some benefits and certain drawbacks. You could choose the car that is faster than anyone else's, but it doesn't come with a map or a GPS. You will just have to point the car in a direction or hope for the best. You could opt for the self-driving car, on the other hand, as it will choose the safest and most optimum route to get to the goal, but it will never exceed the speed limit. You will get to the goal, but you can't guarantee that you will be the first there. In between these two extremes, there are further options. You could choose the car that is fantastic on roads, but cannot go off-road, or perhaps the off-roader that cannot be beaten on the dirt and gravel, but is far too ponderous on the paved streets. You can pick the car that cannot be destroyed, no matter how many other cars, or buildings, or trees you crash into, but it needs fuel every 10 minutes. Or the fusion engine car that will go through the whole race on one tank, but if it gets so much as a scratch, then everyone in the city goes up in flames with you. There are many, many cars to choose from for this race. Each car is fantastic at doing one thing, but that comes with all the disadvantages that come with being such a specialist. But then there is one other car. It's not good at anything or bad at anything. It simply is a car. Its fuel efficiency is all right, and its speed is not too bad. It is okay on the road and decent off it. What it has in its favor is that it is incredibly easy to modify and change. You can swap pieces and parts in and out with very little effort to suit the needs of wherever you currently end up. It is an adaptable car, but it doesn't do it by itself. It is all up to you to change the car to any new environment. So, which car would you choose? One of the preset cars that is fantastic at doing what it does, but you are stuck with the way it drives. Perhaps if you like the way it drives. Or will you take the risk of a car that can do everything, but it is entirely up to you to make the right decisions at the right time? The allegory is a bit heavy-handed, but when it comes to ideology, there is no hand like a heavy hand. Most ideologies are good at what they do. If they weren't, they wouldn't have endured, survived, and thrived. However, subscribing to an ideology is like getting in one of the racing cars. You may like what it does, but you are now stuck driving it the way it was designed to be driven, including all the drawbacks. If you are an AI safetyist, you want to slow AI development to ensure that whatever superintelligence emerges won't harm or kill humanity. Nothing wrong with wishing to save humanity, but this ideology is also inherently one of deceleration and stagnation. As mentioned in previous guidebook entries, current AI technology already has the power to save thousands of lives each week if only used to triage emergency department patients. How many need to die before the death toll is too much for an AI safetyist stuck in the slow lane? If you are an effective accelerationist, then it's a pedal to the metal to see how fast we can achieve the superintelligent machine utopia. Yet not everyone in the pack can move as fast as the frontrunner. Society is slow to adapt to new things, and if technology moves too far ahead of the slow societal inertia, then conflict will inevitably erupt. So, after all this build-up, what is the solution to this problem? As alluded to in the allegory, it is adaptation. Both the safetyists and the accelerationists have good points and bad points, so pick the good points and let go of the bad ones. We should not try and stop the accelerationists, because while they are busy building their machine god, they will also create a plethora of technologies that will save tens of thousands of lives. Yet we need to ensure that society can keep pace with these races. Instead of putting energy towards stopping them, as the safetyists do, take that energy and build up societal resilience towards new technology. Build up rather than tear down. Create an agile and adaptive society that can respond to whatever new miracles and nightmares the accelerationists create. Much like how we now have to learn to live with climate change and need to move to a global policy of adaptation rather than prevention, we need to learn to live with the constant acceleration of AI development. There is much we can do at all levels of society to ensure everyone benefits from this more than they suffer. We can create movements, build institutes, create online communities, influence local and national legislation, and more to make sure we survive whatever happens. Stagnation has never resulted in better outcomes, but neither has blind acceleration. Adaptation is the key to any population moving into the future. If billions of years of evolution haven't managed to drill that lesson into us, then I am not sure what will. And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you will join me again next time as I delve into further questions about artificial intelligence and consciousness. I have been your guide, and this has been the guidebook to making AI friends.